Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in to my super chat. Thank you, everybody. Supporting my voice through this tough time means a lot to me, and I just thank you for your support. I'm greatly, greatly appreciative. Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you for being two amazing moderators, the two best moderators in all of YouTube. I have a great segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel. I am going to be doing 3 segments a day on that channel. We're going to get that to 20 and then 30 and then 40,000 subs. Might be sooner rather than later. This channel is going to grow, H.A. Goodman's other channel, and we'll see what I do with formerly Bizarro World Goodman, now H.A. Goodman's Hyperbole Translator channel, which I don't know if that's the best name, so I might... I might change the name there, but it'll be a fact-checking channel, which is interesting because notice how media never really care about fact-checking themselves. Isn't that interesting? It's always the next day after the previous day's headline was wrong, a little correction on the bottom. After hundreds of thousands of people have read the atrocious headline about Trump or William Barr or just, fill in the name of the person. But here, Fox News, Barr says familiar names among those DOJ is investigating in Durham probe. Calls findings very troubling. New York Post, Barr says some names in DOJ's review of Russia probe will be recognizable. The Washington Post, so this is why Bill Barr is such a bully. They found an article by somebody written about Bill Barr, a hit piece in the 90s, saying that he was a bully when he was younger. So this means that he is a bully now, and this means that President Trump wasn't set up and framed. Don't you understand the logic? Look. Before we get into the Durham probe and the fact that William Barr says, don't worry, eventually there'll be charges. They won't be before the election. By the way, Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee. Did I tell you that? I know it sounds bizarre, but I don't know. I don't think Michael Bloomberg spent $1.2 billion to elect Biden. Just really quickly, it all works. It's a political machine. So what does William Barr and John Durham have to do with Michael Bloomberg? Well, you're talking about a political machine. Now, just really quickly, before we get to William Barr, you have to see everything in aggregate. Okay? New York Post, Michael Bloomberg spent $1 billion. National Review, Michael Bloomberg spent $1.2 billion on 4-month presidential campaign. The final tally is in. Former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg donated $1,221,777,405.26 of his own money. This is a political machine run by media, or I should say the political machine utilizes media and corrupt intelligence officials like Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, and it's not like, please go ahead and make sure that Madam Secretary doesn't get indicted for top secret intelligence on servers. This way, we will investigate President Trump with a dossier Clinton purchased and a CrowdStrike assessment that the DNC outsourced. And then we'll use James Clapper's highly confident assessment to get every journalist in media to state with absolute certainty, even though the intelligence community was only highly to moderately confident, that Russia wanted Trump and hurt Madam Secretary. And then we're going to make sure once again that Bernie is cheated because he won't care either way. And we'll have an app in Iowa that doesn't work. And so that app will be linked to the Clinton former Clinton campaign officials, and then everyone will think Bernie is going to be nominee until South Carolina, and then Biden's going to be nominee, and Hillary Clinton will just never be nominee until she swoops in August, because the DNC spokeswoman stated that they're not going to nominate. We're not officially nominating Joe Biden to take Donald Trump. And Michael Bloomberg's $1.2 billion was all to help Hillary Clinton, not Biden, who would be such an imbecile to think that. Signed the Democratic Party. Doesn't work that way. It's a political machine. TXP! When you moving to Texas, about time we get a sane Californian. I love you, brother. Stay safe. Thank you, TXP. Thank you so very, very much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for the kind words. So, TXP, Michael Bloomberg has nothing directly to do with James Clapper and James Comey and John Brennan and the Steele dossier and the CrowdStrike assessment that lacks any concrete evidence. Michael Bloomberg doesn't have anything to do with that. What Michael Bloomberg did was his own part, just like Biden is doing his own part, just like Comey did his own part. And they don't have to coordinate because it's a machine. It's a machine. It's kind of like if I am, so TXP, if I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, I don't have to call Jerry Jones and when I purchase, Dallas Cowboy gear or box seats or whatever. I'm a fan and I support my team and I support the Cowboys. And if I want to get a Roger Staubach signed football, I do so. But I don't inform the general manager of the Cowboys. So there's one giant team. It's called the Democratic Party machine. Michael Bloomberg spent $1.2 billion. The question now is, do you think he would do so to prop up a Democratic Party so that Biden would then lose miserably in the most cataclysmic, biblical, hilarious manner? No. Hillary Clinton's going to be nominee, and that's why when Peter Strzok and Lisa Page said, he's not going to be president, right, honey? Right? Right, pumpkin? Right, sugar plum? Right? Love muffin? No, honey. We'll stop it. So, why do you think Peter Strzok said we'll stop it? Could you imagine if the tables were turned? So it's interesting. I mean, nobody would. When you look at when you look at William Barr and John Durham, nobody would say, well, Michael Bloomberg's $1.2 billion in 4 months. $1.2 billion in 4 months has nothing to do with the Durham probe. Well, nothing directly to do with the Durham probe, but you're talking about a machine in Tammany Hall. Look up U.S. history. You have Tammany Hall. The Democratic Party is a political machine. It's a political machine, and everything from the Clinton Foundation to, hilarious presidential campaigns like Michael Bloomberg, or you look at Bernie Sanders. He's part of the machine. We can go on forever. But here, Barr says familiar names among those DOJ is investigating in Durham probe calls. Among those, DOJ is investigating in Durham probe calls findings very troubling. We can't discuss future charges, but I have to say that I do find a little irritating. Barr said, the propensity in the American public on all sides of the political spectrum, when they see something they think could be a criminal violation, I say, why hasn't this person been indicted again? And there's an old saying that the wheels of justice grind slowly, and they do so, and they do run slow because we have due process and we follow the process. The funny thing is the left doesn't, but okay. But people should not draw from the fact that no action has been taken yet. That means that people are. See, this quote is like all messed up. That means people that people are going to get away with wrongdoing. So he's basically saying just because you don't see indictments doesn't mean there aren't going to be any, and perhaps people are already being, the DOJ is already looking at charging certain people. You literally have one FBI official, Kleinsmith, who presided over a FISA application for Carter Page and then fabricated and withheld exculpatory evidence from the judge pertaining to Carter Page got railroaded. Carter Page got absolutely railroaded. He got the short end of the stick. And it's like, we can go on. Internal FBI documents unsealed in April indicate that Peter Strzok, the now disgraced anti-Trump former head of FBI counterintelligence, ordered the investigation of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn to remain open even after it was slated to be closed due to a lack of so-called derogatory information. So, this is... John Durham already put away a top FBI official in Boston. And that FBI official didn't write notes saying, I'm going to work with these criminals assigned, I believe his name is John Connolly. Climb BMX! This is equal to $3 American. Climb BMX! A little bit more, but thank you. Bring on H.A. Batman Comedy, Rivals SNL, which I avoid. Thank you so very much, Climb BMX. Thank you. Thank you. It's just, my wacky personality. And thank you, Climb BMX, which is fantastic because I'm able to have, two successful channel or one successful channel and two, somewhat growing channel and H.A. Goodman's other channel. And then the third one, I don't know what I'm doing with that. But based on making very dry, what would normally be dry information, somewhat amusing because of my bizarre personality. Climb BMX, thank you. A little bit more than $3. I appreciate that, though, very much. Your generosity. Climb BMX, thank you so much. Thank you, Climb BMX, thank you. So... So you have the materials surfaced just a day after FBI communications revealed that top bureau officials discussed their motivations for interviewing Flynn in the White House on January 24th, 2017, and openly questioned if their goal was to get him to lie so we can prosecute him or get him fired. The left or media says, oh, that's okay. They were playing hardball because Michael Flynn lied, and he admitted that to the FBI. Well, you don't know, first of all, if the FBI was going after his son, what do you expect him to do? What do you expect him to do? He's going to protect his son. Secondly, if you have FBI agents with 302s, where are the 302s? Where are the 302s? Apparently the dog ate them. It's really hilarious, too, because whenever Christopher Wray or other people in the FBI or, anyone a part of all of this, they're like, oh, we just can't find it, Mueller. Oh, those text messages, they're gone. You know what, there was a glitch. And then you have Washington Post, it was just a glitch. It was just a glitch. I mean, honestly, there's really nothing wrong here. They truly believe this is the weird, bizarre thing. Climb BMX, thank you. This is the bizarre thing about all of this. It's not that they went after, because I was actually reading, there was a plot to remove FDR. So this is not, in a way, unprecedented. It's not, and Smedley Butler, Marine Corps hero, a U.S. hero, helped stop the plot to remove FDR. But you can look up the business plot. But the unprecedented nature of this is that with FDR, these are business leaders in business. It wasn't necessarily U.S. officials. So you have Strzok, McCabe, Comey, Clapper, Brennan, all of the underlings, all of the subordinates of these intelligence chiefs, and you have a political party, and you have media complicit. So in a way, it's just as shocking or even more stunning. And it's interesting, too, because Democrats don't care. You might as well be trying to teach, physics to a golden retriever. And it's like the same look, like if you explain to them anything to do with all of this, they're like, they don't care. They don't care. And it literally, like, I've actually tried to, and it's almost like the words go into like this kind of cosmic universe and never come out. It's like you've said nothing, and then they go back into their apoplectic tirade. Don't ever do it. I'm telling you, don't ever, 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 from now until long after the election, speak to anyone regarding what's taking place with don't ever speak with anyone who has derangement issues towards Trump. Don't ever do it, because it's not worth it. Because they don't care. They just do not care. Sparky! Don't forget H.A. Flynn's lawyers misled him. Exactly. The first ones. Exactly. Luke St. Martin, hello. Yes, streams. Oh, Lord. Okay, so. Oh, Lord, here we go again. All right, so we're gonna try. So you know what? I've been having some difficulty with the internet, but Brad, a $5 for 3 medium moving boxes from you all. Brad Krauthizer, thank you. Thank you, Luke St. Martin, you're right. I've been having some issues with the internet, but the heat in California, if there's heat or rain or any like normal weather, it's a big problem. And sometimes, but ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. We're going to try our best to keep this going. But it's like if you look, ladies and gentlemen, at what they did, the DOJ Barr added was also taking a look at requests by several of President Obama's administration officials, including Biden and President Obama's chief of staff, to obtain the identity of an individual who turned out to be Flynn through a process known as unmasking. The process ordinarily begins. Okay, so the reason they wanted to go after Michael Flynn is that they wanted to remove President Trump's ability to implement his own foreign policy. They wanted to keep certain elements of foreign policy. They wanted to keep certain elements of foreign policy. Sparky! Should be the Bard. Yeah, I mean, you look at what took place. It's a travesty. Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me all right? Because I know the stream is not really doing well in terms of the internet connection, but can you hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me all right, ladies and gentlemen. Can you at least hear what I'm saying okay? Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me all right, people. Ah, okay. Deuce one. Hello. Hillary will be nominee. Yes. Finally, the stream is okay. All is well. So they just set up and framed President Trump, utilizing every single opportunity they could. Every single opportunity they could to utilize, to go after the Trump administration. And they were able to do this, ladies and gentlemen. They were able to do this because they had the media, and they had millions. They had 60 million people who They had 65 million people who were mortified, absolutely mortified, that Trump won. That's it. They wanted retribution. They got retribution. Remnant 0888. You need to pray to Hillary, false god. Say my queen. Remnant 0888. Thank you. Will Money. Thank you. Thank you very much, Will. Remnant 0888. Yeah. She's coming. Madam Secretary is going to be there. But the whole thing was about suspicion. So what they did was they said, okay, well, we're very suspicious, and we're going to utilize our suspicion through a dossier purchased by Clinton and the DNC. And the dossier will be backed up by a CrowdStrike assessment outsourced by Democrats. And the CrowdStrike assessment will say that Russia infiltrated the DNC. Therefore, you've diverted attention away from Bernie Sanders being cheated. And there you go. Bernie Sanders was cheated. He did not admit that he was cheated. Remnant 0888, thank you. He didn't admit that he was cheated. And because of that, there was no reform. There was no reforming the Democratic Party. There was no reforming the Democratic Party. It was just simply they didn't skip a beat. They went from Clinton could win Texas to Trump worked with Russia within the bat of an eye. Hillary Clinton today, there's probably more differences than similarities between 1968 and 2020. That's because she doesn't want to compare the Democratic Party of 1968 to today. How Biden hands the baton to Madam Secretary, we don't know, but it's going to happen. It is definitely going to happen. But William Barr basically stated, look, it's very troubling. We see the same people over and over again. That's because the same people set up and framed President Trump. It's not difficult to understand. You look at the apoplectic media coverage. The apoplectic, just hysterical media coverage. And I've never seen... Then you get like these 80s and like mid-90s stars coming out. I am so tired of seeing these people that I haven't thought of in 30 years, 40 years. What do I care what they think about anything? Chad Swans! You made the greatest political you made the greatest political call, and that Hillary will be nominee, and I agree with you. What do you think? Who do you think will be your running mate? Chad, thank you so very much. I think that Biden is either going to pick Hillary or he's going to pick. I don't know. I have no clue who Biden will pick. I have no clue. I will say this. Any pick from Biden, if it's not Hillary, will be Hillary's pick. And then Biden will jump into the reflecting pool naked without any clothes on or streak down Pennsylvania Avenue naked. Who knows what he'll do? He probably has a list of things that he's trying to think of right now. Chad, thank you so much for the kind words. I have no clue. I mean, there's a chance it could be Hillary Clinton. But then Clinton kept saying, Biden has to pick somebody who could win the Electoral College. So that would point to Stacey Abrams. Because Georgia, they're trying to get Georgia. I don't know why. But they're trying to get Georgia, but Georgia's a red state. But so could be Val Demings, Florida. But then there's issues with her police record. So it's not going to be Elizabeth Warren. Not only does she have horrendous baggage, but Massachusetts is a blue state. Then they say Kamala Harris, but what are you going to... Democrats are worried about taking California? I don't believe Michelle Obama wants to be in politics right now. Maybe in the future. TXP, Joe Biden already nominated. Mr. Biden. But, so Chad, I don't know. They might just have to back into Madam Secretary. Or it could be somebody that we don't really know of. It could be somebody we haven't really heard of on a national level. Chad, thank you so very much. It's going to happen. Chad, be here in November and in August. Oh, my God, it's going to be so beautiful. This charade, they're not going to go with Biden. They can't go with Biden. Otherwise, they would lose miserably. And then look, the legal and political future of all of these people would be completely flushed down the toilet with Biden, who would miss the toilet completely. Sparky! Thank you, Chad. Sparky! Dems have reaped the rewards of high teaching what to think rather than how to think for too long. Now the chickens are coming home to roost. The chickens are coming home to roost. Yeah, but they like that, though. You watch, Sparky. You watch. They're actually going to get more conservative after Trump wins the re-election. Sparky! P-Dog Night! Cheers, HA Democrats in Emancipation Hall wearing P-Dog Night. You know what? My take on that is that somebody should ask them to kneel during the national anthem, and they would say they would find some way to say no in the most public relations. Like, that's the issue. P-Dog Night. That's what makes everything so duplicitous, and they didn't even get any points from the left because everyone knows it was such a public relations stunt. The whole debate or controversy or the issue is during the national anthem. I want Pelosi to take a knee during the national anthem when the Democratic Party, just by any politician in any country, if they did that to in any country of the world, they'd never win another election. So Democrats are disingenuous and duplicitous. They only do things when there's political utility. When there's no political utility, they don't take the chance. Sparky says you could be right about that, Sparky, but they're going to say, well, she almost won Georgia. She almost became governor. Who knows? Sparky, I don't know who the vice president will be. I just know that it could very well be Hillary Clinton, which would be fantastic, which would be absolutely fantastic. And then, then we have Biden jumping into the reflecting pool. But Sparky, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Sparky. Let's see. Mitchell Smith. So Sparky, I mean, I agree. There's nobody right now in terms of the Democratic Party really doesn't have any anyone right now that they could couple with Biden. That see if it's Hillary and another female candidate, then it's actually a good team from a political sense. But Biden and anyone, I mean, what's he going to do? He already has allegations. Could you imagine if he's like, like they always like hug each other and like the VP is like, get away. Sparky, thank you. Mitchell Smith. Love the stare down by AG at Margaret Brennan after he stated your reporting was false concerning Lafayette Square. Thank you as always, AG. Yes, Mitchell Smith, thank you so much. It's unbelievable. That was a media failure because nobody cared. Okay, so they moved protesters. Okay, people were not peaceful, and the park police issued a statement on that. And then they're like, well, you know what? Sorry, it's D.C. If the president wants to visit a church, he gets to visit a church. It was 15 minutes before curfew. So what is this big like crime against humanity? Like, oh my God, look what happened. Oh my God. People were asked three times, please disperse. They didn't. Then there were bricks and water bottles, frozen water bottles thrown at police. So it's like, okay, then the church was vandalized and set ablaze the night before. So they try to spin everything. It never works. Like the spin, they've spun themselves into this like vertigo, this dizzying. They're in their own fantasy world. It's just unbelievable. Mitchell Smith, thank you again. Hope all is well. Thank you. Sparky! Chickens coming home to roost because Dems are left with no one smart enough to run their party. Yeah, but they don't care, though, about... Sparky, they don't care about... they just want to win. They just want political influence. So they don't care about ideas. If swimming in like shark-infested waters would get them votes, they would all do it. They don't care. Even if it makes no sense, they would still do it. Remnant 0888. Jill Stein? I don't know what you mean about Jill. Remnant 088, thank you. Thank you, Remnant 0888. Thank you. You look, ladies and gentlemen, and just type in Joe Biden. What do you get? It's unbelievable, too, like how they've made this... They've made what took place in a Democratic stronghold an issue with Trump. It's like they never cease to amaze. They never cease to amaze. It's pretty unbelievable. Anything that happens in the known universe will be Trump's fault. And it'll be his incendiary words. Meanwhile, real incendiaries, they're not so concerned about. But it'll be his words. They're going to... they're going to... November is going to be a very somber... Actually, not somber, because somber would correlate to self-reflection. It's going to be a chaotic and tumultuous time for the Democratic Party. November is not going to be fun. It ain't going to be fun because they might have lost Minnesota. They might have lost Nevada. See, the this is what they don't get. The economy starts picking up just a little bit, which is already... I mean, the economy was on such a upward trajectory that even the jobs report, after like tanking the economy deliberately, for people as liars, is all altruistic. A self-induced depression. We still had better than expected job numbers. You let the economy just pick up, and it's slowly picking up, and people are slowly getting back to living their lives again. They might lose Nevada. That's six electoral college votes. This is really interesting. Chad Swans! Hillary Clinton and Michelle for 2020. Super ticket to ignite excitement in Democrat. I agree with you. I agree with you, Chad. That would be a phenomenal ticket for them. I don't think they would do that. Let's see. I mean, it could be Michelle Obama. She would be she would be phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And then you remove Biden from the equation, and it's Clinton and Michelle Obama, then yes. I still think President Trump would win, but it would be very, very difficult. But see, again, the notion that Biden is anywhere near... The notion that Biden is anywhere near the nomination is hilarious. It could be Michelle Obama. Chad. It could be. It could be. It won't be Amy Klobuchar. You could rest assured with that. It would be amazing, but, I think what could happen is that Hillary Clinton becomes nominee. I mean, she becomes vice president. And, she becomes vice president, and then Biden, launches himself into space. And then Chad, then Clinton picks somebody. TXP. Oh, Sparky. Abrams was a close swing. False backstory. Old school dad man. HA, what's the over-under at how many states Trump's win? I don't know. I don't know what the over-under would be, but I think he might win 31 or 32. Nevada and Minnesota are in play. He might lose, though. I mean, it could be 29. He could still win as long as... if he gets Florida and Ohio, he has a bunch of different ways to win. And I believe he'll get Florida and Ohio. Sparky! Close false backstory. Jill Biden. Remnant 088. No, I think that he'd pick his wife. I don't know. I don't know who the vice president would be. Could very well be Hillary Clinton. Could very well be Hillary Clinton. I think that the Chicago is such a Democratic machine. The two most the biggest Democratic machines in the country are in New York and Chicago. New York and Chicago, the biggest Democratic machines. So I think that's basically or I should say, they will, well, in this case, they chose politics. In Chicago, they chose politics. They've also, like, the interesting thing is, generally, a vice presidential pick should not overshadow the presidential nominee. With Democrats, they're desperate to have somebody overshadow Biden. They're desperate to have somebody who would be interesting enough to get people away from realizing Biden is absolutely horrendous. But, I mean, if you look at, go to 270 to win. You go to 270 to win, and Nevada, Minnesota. Let's look really quickly at Virginia. Poll Biden, Trump. Even, you know what, it's like even, let's see, New Mexico. I mean, you know, New Mexico is possible. Let's look at the history. New Mexico. When's the last time they... So, they voted Republican in 2004. All right, and then all throughout the 80s and 70s, they were Republican. So, the last three elections, they voted Democrat. Who knows? I mean, it's possible. Let's see. Let's look at favorability ratings. If you look at favorability ratings across the country. Trump, okay, favorability rating by state. There's a great, I think Gallup, Morning Consult has a great approval rating. Okay, so he's down 11 in New Mexico. I mean, but he's only down 5 in Minnesota. He's down 10 in Nevada, but he's actually he's closing the gap in terms of polls in Nevada. If you look, he has positive favorability ratings in most states. In Florida, he has. I'm going to do a segment on this on H.A. Goodman's other channel after this segment. This is interesting. See, Trump, they say, oh, he's so unpopular. No, he has a negative 28 point. He's down 28 points. He's below in terms of favorability ratings in California by 28 points, in New York by 20 points, in Vermont by 39 points. So, but I mean, in Texas he's up 7. In Arizona he's up 1. In Minnesota, he's only down 5 points. He's only down 5 points in Minnesota. So, I mean, Minnesota, it's possible. It's possible. You know, this is possible, ladies and gentlemen. So it's really interesting. If you look at, let's see, New Mexico in 2016. New Mexico 2016 election results. So Gary Johnson took 75. If it wasn't for Gary Johnson, Trump would have won. Let's see. Did Jill Stein get? New Mexico's a possibility. Okay, New Mexico's a possibility. Also, like, they're not spending. Democrats aren't spending any money. They kind of don't have to, because their whole thing is, well, if we just ramp up the negativity in terms of media, that's like free advertising money. But if you get New Mexico, that's what 5 electoral college votes. Nevada, Minnesota. See, it's not like you look at, in most states he has positive numbers in terms of favorability. So the Morning Consult, this is a really, really interesting, it's Morning Consult tracking. This is really, really interesting. Approval by state. And this is among GOP primary voters. Check this out. 89%. Ages 18 to 29, 83% approval. Ages 30 to 44, 89%. And 90% from 45 from 45 and up. 90% approval. This is why there's a 40%. He's going to win again, and it's going to be so gratifying. And then I'll get the text messages from people I know. I just want to let you know that I still can't stand everything you stand for. I'll be like, if you want to know why you lost, address me politely, and maybe I'll explain to you. Urban voters and suburban voters, 87, 88% support. This is within GOP primary voters. So now this is interesting. February of 2020. February of 2020. Interesting. Approval by state. February of 2020. Wow. So Minnesota, let's look at Minnesota. This is before everything took place. Minnesota, people were starting to like him more. It went from like 16 points in 2018 to now only 5 points. This trend is with a whole bunch of other states also. This is interesting. Same with New Mexico, too. I mean, people are starting to... The only thing they have is apoplectic media coverage. That's it. That's the only thing they could... in Virginia, he could possibly win Virginia. Democrats have overstepped their boundaries time and again. Tashi, exactly. If people don't show up to vote, then you'll have a President Hillary Clinton. I give her a 20% chance to win. I mean, just with media and, oh my God, Hollywood. And everything. But Gary Johnson was a much bigger impact than Jill Stein was. Let's see. So, let's see. Gary Johnson got 3% of the popular vote. Okay? So without... What would that have been? 3% of the popular vote. So you're looking at perhaps like him being almost with... This does not look good. Without Gary Johnson, okay, let's see. How many people did Gary Johnson get? This does not look good for Democrats at all. If you just look at... You look at Gary Johnson 2016 presidential campaign. $4.5 million votes nationally. Remove Gary Johnson, and he far surpasses the 60 almost 65 million. But then you get, so she might barely win she would barely win the popular vote, or would she? How many? Let's see, how many votes did Jill Stein get? 2016. She only got, let's see, how many? She finished 3 million votes under Gary Johnson. So President Trump would have won the popular vote. Correct me if I'm wrong. He would have won the popular vote were it not for Gary Johnson. But and then the notion though that because Johnson voters would more than likely vote for Trump, Jill Stein voters would not necessarily have voted for Hillary Clinton. So, Gary Johnson, Democrats are in a world of hurt. A world of hurt, ladies and gentlemen. Sparky, thank you so much for your generosity. If nothing was done about... Overall, it would be a routine year for... Well, if you look at Sparky, if you look at the 80,000 lives that were lost in 2018, I would say that you could have engaged in social distancing, masks, everything, but still kept the economy going. So, but November is going to be a very interesting month, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very, very interesting month. It'll be one of the most important months in U.S. history. President Trump's going to win re-election. It's going to be against Hillary Clinton. And ladies and gentlemen, give me your thoughts below. I'll be back at around 10:30 p.m. Pacific tonight. Be here on this channel. I have a segment up on H.A. Goodman's other channel based pretty much on what we've been talking about for the past 20 minutes or so. Ladies and gentlemen, Sparky, thank you so very much, Sparky, for your generosity. And everyone here, thank you. BMX, thank you, everybody here. And I'll see you all at 10:30 p.m. Pacific tonight. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so very much, everyone. I will see you Sparky! Long ago, I saw a weather documentary. Much of the recent anti-Trump strategy seems similar to theirs. There's prompt Obama leak call. I don't know. I can't comment on any of that. I know that the media is in overdrive. I can only tell you, Sparky, that Democrats truly believe the media has more influence on American society than it does. It has a tremendous amount of influence, but not enough. Not enough to really change, to really create public opinion. It can only bolster existing biases. Sparky, thank you. Karen Camille! Biden revealed God's plan today. We can all calm down. Biden revealed God's plan today. What did Biden reveal? He might be as old as God. Let's see, Biden. Let's see. Karen Camille, thank you. Sparky, thank you. People, I will see you tonight around 10 p.m. Pacific, everyone. Thanks so much. God bless. To my super chat, thank you. I'll see you later, everybody. Thanks so very, very much. Born in the Desert! Thank you, Born in the Desert. Thank you very, 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 very much. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you. Born in the Desert. Everybody here, I'll see you at around 10:30 p.m. on this channel live stream. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right after this. That'll be my second of the day. Thanks.